What's up, guys? Sam here, and I've got another small rendition of my Pac-Man deck. This one is a burn variant and something I can easily smokescreen into with the current build I'm running. But it runs more stall, more animata as I do my 3 macros. But here we have just kind of a more traditional Pac-Man hand, you could say, with double camels, Marshmallow, Never Silk Age, Starlight Road, etc. But I just played that, set Marshmallow, and ended, keeping Marshmallow on the field more as a stall / burn, with how this deck runs instead of getting the advantage of Lakuta. But yep, I just set Lakuta on here because he's kind of stalling out too. And then for fun, he's like, Heavy Storm, and I'm like, lol, Starlight Road. Whenever you can get that off, it's so nice. But yeah, so we get Stardust Dragon on the field. He sets another and then ends. So with a pretty good advantage set up here. But remember, I flip Lakuta and then draw into Steel Cage. Attack over the flip-flop Frog. She does bounce Stardust back, and then I summon Lava Golem. Activate Steel Cage just for that extra security, as it has already activated Heavy Storm this turn, and then end. He takes the 1,000 from Lava Golem, sacrificed it for Shark Kraken, which I forgot to mention. This is some sort of Lemuria deck. Not sure what he's going for whatsoever. But I just have stall set up for days, so we get to sit here and, well, not exactly burn, because just with the stall in this deck, they almost never attack into Marshmallow, which is kind of sad. But we just do that, setting the other Lakuta and then setting Macro. Just because people hate it. Most decks don't do very well with Macro. So he summons Unifrog, activates Lemuria, and then goes into Strike Bouncer. Which he waits very, very long to actually activate the effect. He ends up getting 2 on the field before he even does so. But Lakuta into another macro, and then another Lakuta into swords, and then flipping both of them face down and ending, of course. Again, he just keeps doing things. Sets the Unifrog on this for this turn, and then some of the rolling swords there. Flip both Lakutas. I get into one of the double of them, of the important cards of what makes this deck a burn deck, is the wave motion cannons. Running 3, no, I think it's actually 2 in this build, so it's weird that I drew them both so quickly. Since this is a very stall-oriented deck, I'm able to sit on my monsters and my swords and such, and then just let wave motion build up and then kill them. There's the other one, is Stealth Bird. Gives you that 1,000 per turn, soften them up, and then wave motion for game, stuff like that. Drawing into more stall, setting both Lakutas again, and then summoning Stealth Bird and face down. So now we have the proper setup to go for game. Wave motions keep ticking here, and then so these are both at 2 turns. Flip the Stealth Bird for the 1,000. Which he does bouncer that instead. And then Lakuta for a draw, and then another one for a draw. Just getting into all of our advantage. Just because I was getting too many things, I went into Zedmains because, again, I was just getting too much advantage, honestly. And then setting Scarabs, and then discarding Macro because I had too many cards in hand. I already have one on field. Why not? So Steel Cage on field. Stealth Bird is still face up on the field. So these are both ticked to 2 or to 3 turns each. So that's 6,000 damage total. Sacrifice those 2 for Lava Golem. Set Stealth Bird. Flip Scarabs to get rid of Kraken. Flip Stealth Bird for 1,000, and then he. Oh yeah, I remember. I could not use wave motion cannons because I have Macro on field. I can't send them to the graveyard, so with that little bit of burn from Lava Golem, he ends, because I still would have inevitably won the match, or won the game, with Stealthbird, even though you know, I had the damage with both the wave motions at turn count 3. But anyway, next one, it was against Gravekeepers. This one was definitely more of an interesting match, as you know, Gravekeepers are, you know, they're starting to come back. I saw 2 people play them at locals just yesterday, and you know, it's just been, they're coming back for sure. But first turn setting Macrocosmos and Marshmallow. He actually drew. He's running Cyberend too. Wow. Cyberend protect field spells? Nope. So it's a Malefic Gravekeeper. You know, the Malefics giving the Gravekeepers that necessary power that they need. But he goes into Malefic Starters, flips Spy to summon Recruiter, and then goes into Descendant, ditching Spy to get rid of Macro, and Descendant again, ditching the Recruiter to get rid of Wapaku Chain, and then he gets the search off a Recruiter for an Assailant. Battle phase just attacking into Marshmallow and taking that 1,000 damage. This is another kind of fun tech that I was able to put into here since you know, this is no longer Chaos Pac-Man. I threw in Tsukiyomi. It's you know, extra troll with Marshmallows. But I flipped Stealthbird to get another 1,000 damage. Attack with it because, you know, why not? He has open field. And then setting that, setting Solemn and Needle Sealing with Tsukiyomi in hand. He goes for Assailant and then attacks over the Stealthbird since he knows what it is. You know, I could have Solemn that summon, but it's kind of to a point of why not. So just for extra troll, okay, Nick, guess not. Eventually, I start like really extra trolling with the Marshmallows, but we just set Stealthbird. He attacks over it yet again with Assailant, and changing Marshmallow to attack position because why not? So he's got Torrential and Compulse on the field. I summon Tsukiyomi, targeting Marshmallow. He goes for Torrential, and you know, why not Solemn it? Just because I want that Marshmallow face down again. You know, it's that little bit of extra damage. Tsukiyomi bounces again. So, you know, he knows it's a Marshmallow, so he's not going to attack into it. So it's kind of a standard of just keeping it there. And he pops Needle Sling with Descendant. I wasn't able to activate it, so we just set Threatening Roar and then end. We have 2 T-Roars on the field. And yeah, again, he knows it's Marshmallow. He could attack into it, but whatever. So we set another Marshmallow in here. Since it's a new monster, he's like, okay, attack into it. Go for it. Why not? And he takes another 1,000 damage. So my turn, I draw into Lakuta, which I want on the field. So I put him face down. I have 2 T-Roars to at least get a couple turns of advantage off of him. But he summons Recruiter, drops it with Descendant to pop Lakuta, which is kind of sad. But he searches out the Assailant for that. So I'm like, why not troll more? Tsukiyomi to flip Marshmallow. It's kind of sad, you know, I put Tsukiyomi in for the fact that, you know, a lot of monsters these days have higher attack. Or higher attack and lower defense. So I could, like, drop Tsukiyomi and then attack into their monster to destroy it. But he overlays, which is very crucial misplay on his part. But he overlays into Papal. So I just T-Roar on that. And then, you know, he really should have just popped that for the Wave Motion Cannon. But we get that, and then set Stealthbird. And again, he knows both of these are Marshmallows, so again, here he's going to Papal on that one, and then we'll just, again, chain another T-Roar. Which is sad, because I don't get the pulses off them. Of course, I can recycle with Tsukiyomi, so why not? Well, we get 2 turns of Wave Motion Cannon right there. Flip Stealthbird for 1,000 damage. So it's just a couple turns here. And then overlay into Zemins, because why not? And he bottomlesses it. Which is An interesting rule I never thought of is that you can use that mate's effect against bottomless. So I was able to detach and then destroy Necro Valley. Since he had bounced the Stealth Bird, I figured set Marshmallow because he doesn't know. So it's an extra 1,000 damage. Wave Motion Cannon was at turn count 2, so on that turn I could have activated it to 1. Or to win. This next one is just, it's fun because it's interesting. This guy was trying to make Sophia. So it's like, oh wait, we'll swap here and then go. I open up well enough against like an actual meta deck. So so he actually draws first turn, you know, Sophia with that magic, with that mallet. So I at least go Steel Cage, Cannon, and then set the rest. You know, just because I saw the mallet, I was like, you know, kind of fearing card destruction and stuff. So we go Starlight Route on the field, and Barbecue along with Steel Cage and Wave Motion Cannon keeps ticking. Set Marshmallow in there. Again, he was just trying to test out kind of an interesting build. You know, I always love seeing stuff like this, where it's just something I'd never seen before. We got Wave Motion Cannon on 2, play Swords, and then end. You know, again, this is like the Pac-Man deck. It utilizes the stall and the advantage it gains, but just slowly, you know, using Wave Motion Cannon, using Stealth Bird, ticks away at your opponent's life points. And, you know, it's a traditional burn instead of a non-traditional, you know, advantage gaining chaos deck. But he had instructions, so I lose that lava golem and stuff. Again, he's running Fusion Gate. He's got a lot of these older fusions, which was really interesting. And I think this is the next turn that he goes off because he has chain material on the field. So activates Fusion Gate and chain material. He goes into double Zombie Warrior, and then for Leviair, it's just really interesting because it's like it uses the mechanics of Electromo TK for something I've never seen before. So yeah, Fusion Gates in those two, and the Fusion Gates into Gaia. Uses Leviair to get Esper Girl back using Esper Girl's effect, and then Esper Girl for that. I think you grabbed Mystical Elf, but then level for Relinquished, and then sets an end. So he has, you know, it's not bad. It's a very interesting one in my opinion. You know, he has an Xyz, a Synchro, and a Synchro on the field. So I know he has a possibility. I think he had the possibility of getting Sophia out at some point. But I use Tsukiyomi to flip Stardust, and then Scarabs, but uses my body as a shield to negate that. Which I actually here I want to check because that was his whole point. So it's a Ritual, a Fusion, a Synchro, and an Xyz. So he had the Ritual card. Oh no, he needed Relinquish in hand, which he's about to draw. He has a Synchro there. So if he could have fused for anything. Really, if he had his extra deck set up to just do like, any, you know, where it's just random things, he could have done it. I think instead of ones where it's, you know, the specific old fusions. But I'm sitting, you know, Wave Motion Cannon at count 5, and you know, still pretty good setup there. Like again, he could have done Advanced Social Alert to get Relinquish out at that point, which I don't know, he should have done. But again, we Tsukiyomi for that Wave Motion Cannon because I was like, it's close enough. You know, kind of give the guy a chance. I wanted to see what he could do. Draws into another Sophia. Because Stardust was face on the field, I Needle Sealing. This is Mystical Elf because lol. Nightmare Steel Cage ran out there. And then drawing to Macro, so it's pretty nice. Setting Scarabs and Macro on that turn. He draws into another chain material. I don't know, I think he could have done this better. I don't know, if I hadn't destroyed both of those Xyz monsters, this would have been a possibility. But so I flip Scarabs, he negates with Stardust. which I kind of forgot that Stardust also destroys. I was thinking I could do something there. But again, I've been sitting on Marshall in this entire game, so that's kind of mean. So activate macro, he goes hand destruction. I draw into swords and Wabaku. And, you know, at this point, he had kind of exhausted his combo. He didn't have much else left to do. So I go into duality, draw into wave motion, which he very promptly MSTs, obviously, because that would have been a one turn. You know, in one turn, I would have won. So I just activate swords, revealing Miss Golf, which I didn't even notice until a turn later. So he has that other chain material because lol. And actually at this point I hadn't realized you really could use Fusion Gate and chain material as Exodia Thin, where you pretty much like fuse out your, thin out your deck, fusing everything, where you only have the 5 pieces of Exodia either left in your deck or in your hand. So I don't know, I don't quite understand the whole fusion chain material kind of thing, but I think that would be a really, really fun Exodia strategy. So again, he had exhausted materials. Apparently Thousand Eyes was already gone, so he couldn't get out, use the ritual art. And at one turn, yeah, I had attacked over Thousand Eyes Idol with Marshall in that turn before. And then, just for lulz, and also fearing some possible back row, I set Lakuta and then attacked for game with Marshall on, which is something you would very rarely say. But anyway, it's been doing just fine, but whatever. We'll be right back, so I can show off the deck profile. So see you guys in a second. Alright, so here we are. Again, this is kind of, I've been, whenever I fight decks that are graveyard dependent, I will side out both my Chaos Monsters, go for double Lava Golem, interval macro. So I thought to actually make it a proper deck, and more of a stall-oriented burn deck. And again, this is something I very well could smokescreen into with my current Pac-Man build. But anyway, you have the traditional Pac-Man build with the Lakutas, Scarabs, etc. But we have some interesting different changes. We have double Lava Golem in here. Double Tsukiyomi, again, she works very well. If you were to play Wabaku that first turn, and they attack into your monsters face up now, so you're at a disadvantage, you can play Tsukiyomi to flip it face down. It allows recycling of Marshmallow's effect after they've attacked it once, and stuff like that. You have the one Swarm of Locusts, just to kind of keep it in there, why not? It's still holds its place definitely, against anything field dependent or fire fist or anything like that. The triple stealth boards, of course, because this is burn, you get to deal 1,000 damage every turn. The double scarabs, just get rid of monsters, etc. The triple Lakutas to just gain the advantage to draw cards. Triple Marshmallows, again, this is a stall burn deck. So that's what he does, is stall and burn. You have the triple Steel Cage and triple Swords for stall, of course. Double Duality for consistency. Double Wave Motion Cannon, as you saw in most of those duels. You pretty much sit and stall, let the cannon charge up, and then go for game. More stall, of course, you have your triple Waku, triple Roar, and then again, just because the theme fits it so well, with flipping monsters face down at the end of your turn, you have your double Needle Sailings just to remove the advantage from your opponent. And of course, because over half the deck is back row, we have Starlight Road, triple macro because we can. Again, usually when I side in my current Pac-Man deck, I'll go double Lava Golem and triple macro. Just to hurt anything graveyard dependent, and then just the one Solemn. Didn't change the extra deck from my current Pac-Man build whatsoever. I actually go into extra deck less in this one, but if I ever do, it's for a Zen mains or sometimes an Arrow Shark. But that's really it. Again, the extra deck, I took some stuff out to main deck and stuff like that because this is kind of a smokescreen for my current build. But that again, yep. That is it. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, follow, and follow. And as always, this is Sum of the Geekcast. I'll see you guys in another video and talk to you later.